Hello guys, and welcome to the complete Flutter developer course. In this course, we are going to master Flutter programming language. So keep us making new videos by subscribing and liking our channel. So let's start downloading and installing Flutter on Windows. So let's start by installing Flutter on Windows and configure it with Android Studio. So we go first to Google Chrome or Internet, and we go to Google and we type Flutter. We go to the official site, which is flutter.dev. And in this series, we are going to make beautiful apps and many apps. So don't miss to like and subscribe below. So we click on Get Started. This is the official site of Flutter, and we select the Windows. If you have Mac or Linux, we will see later in other tutorials. But till now, let's go to Windows. And if you are in China, please first read using Flutter in China. Now let's click on Windows. And we see here the system requirements. We see we need to have an operating system, Windows 7 or later, and disk space 400 does not include the space for IDE tools. And we have two tools, Windows PowerShell and Git for Windows. But Windows PowerShell is pre-installed with Windows, so we don't need it. We need Git for Windows. We click on Git, and this is a downloading page for Git. It is here. Let's start downloading. So keep us making new tutorials and follow the course Flutter daily uploads. So don't miss to like and subscribe, and we will continue till making professional apps. And make sure to see the complete Android developer course. Now let's install Git. We click open. Next. Additional icons here. Use Git through. Okay. Next. Okay. From command line, use Git for okay, next. Use OpenSSL. Next. Okay. And use Windows default console Windows. And click next. Enable experimental build. I will not enable, and waiting for installation to finish. And if you see if you want, you can see and read the book, download the GUI, and get involved in community of Git. Now installing have been finished, and we click finish. Now back to Flutter website. We have finished these requirements. Now let's move to the Get Flutter SDK. we are going to download the following installation bundle to the latest release. We click here, and it is 652 megabytes. Let's start downloads. Okay, this have been finished, and we extract the file to see whenever you want. You need your folder. I will put here Flutter SDK, and I will extract it. Now we are downloading, we are just extracting the Flutter SDK to the specific folders. Extract the zip file and place the contained Flutter in the desired installation location. For example, C source Flutter. Do not install Flutter in directory program files that requires private privileges. So we go to C, Flutter SDK, and Flutter here. So I want to rename this src sources and Flutter, and this is Flutter SDK. So we run the Flutter console, and here we are going to see the welcome to Flutter console. Okay, so now Flutter SDK has been installed. I will flutter underscore doctor, or we will configure it in the Flutter doctor. Okay, Flutter doctor. This will organize and help us to find what we have installed in our on Windows. So Flutter is installed with the latest channel stable. Android Studio 3.5, Flutter plugin is not installed, and Dart plugin is not installed, and no connected devices. So we need to configure this to put them into correct state. So, but before we proceed, we need just to make sure that we can run Flutter in all Windows, in any place in Windows. So, in order to do that, we need to add a class path to our environmental stable. We go to Control Panel. We go to user accounts, change account type, user accounts, and we go to user accounts, change my environment variables, and here we go to path, we click on it, and here we go to create a new path. Where is our SDK? So we go to C, source, and Flutter. I will copy this folder, and we create a new path, and we select this. But just to see the bin file, this is the bin file. Okay, we need to configure it. I just need to put bin. So we are doing this because we need to run Flutter in all our folders and files in Windows. In order to do that, we need to edit the environment variables. We click OK and click OK now. Now we can run and see our environmental, our Flutter. We go now here and everything is good. Now, I have downloaded and installed Android Studio. I will show you now how to download and install Android Studio. To download Android Studio on Google, go to the download the official site. This is the Android Studio official site. Click download and agree the terms and conditions. It is about 710 megabytes. Wait for downloading. So as Android Studio is a favorite and best IDE and best code emulator, code executor, and development environment for all for most of developers. So we recommend that you download this because it is intelligent code coder, flexible build system, real-time profilers, and emulators, and have many specifications. As for Windows, I'm using Windows 10, 64-bit. The Android emulators will see it's not it will not run except for 64 and have 4 GB RAM and 2 GB minimum requirements. So we will wait to the finish and click OK. This is the installer of Android Studio. I'm making a new course about Android. Click next. Make sure you subscribe and like. Uh, click install, and this is a process. Make sure you subscribe. We are making a new professional Android development course about making the apps, about creating professional app and real world apps. So subscribe and like to get notified and get latest updates. Now let's click start Android Studio and finish. Do not import settings, and this is Android Studio. And this is the welcome screen. Now click on standard, next, and I prefer using Dracula because it's more best theme. And this is SDK we need to download. This is the latest and SDK, and remember this is the SDK folder path. So click now finish and wait for downloading components. It may take a lot of time. See the other videos of our channel how to download the SDK offline. So despite waiting hours from the for Android SDK to download to be downloaded, you can click in one package and you can reserve this SDK for later. Now let's configure our SDK and check it is the latest. It is number 29. It is the latest till the production of this video. Now these are the components of Android 10. We use them later in our emulators. Okay, we can download these, but for now it is very good. We configured our SDK very well. Now let's configure our AVD. AVD stands for Android Virtual Devices. So let's configure. If select phone, I prefer using Pixel 3 because it is bigger size and it's approximately near to my phone Note 8. So now configure the select your device, whatever you want to device. Now we need to download the system, the image system of this emulator. I choose the Q. Q is the latest, which is 10, Android 10. Now click on download and waiting for downloading the image. After downloading, it is unzipping, so it is now installing the system image. Now click finish. Note that my virtual X or technology is disabled. I will configure it in BIOS, and I will make a video about it. Enable it in BIOS. If it is not enabled in your computer, we will see in next videos how to enable it. Now, in order to download to configure the plugin in Android Studio, we go to Android Studio. We open Android Studio and back to our Flutter.dev website. We go down, update your path, run Flutter Doctor, and this is an example. Now we go to Android setup. Installing Android Studio, we go here and we see in the how to download it. Set up Android emulator. Okay, so back to our Android Studio, we click configure and we click on plugins. Now we search on Marketplace, we search for Flutter. I'm not connecting to internet. Now going to put Flutter. Now we go to here. This is our Flutter plugin, and we click on install and accept. Install required plugin. So we need also Dart. So click yes, and it is downloaded. It's 2.8 megabyte, and restart ADE. Activate change and restart ADE. So Android Studio now have been installed the plugin, Flutter plugin. So if you notice that this plugin is also also added start a new Flutter project. We click on start Flutter project. We click on a Flutter application. We click on next, and here we need to specify the Flutter SDK here. So we go to click this, see, and we go to the source file and Flutter, and this is our SDK. We click on next, company name, and use and authenticate, and we click finish. And here we go. This is our Flutter app. And welcome to Flutter. The Flutter plugin anonymously reports features. Okay, we close it. And this is we are running Flutter inside Android Studio. And this is will have a built-in and ready-made app or template. So let's click run. Just configuring the emulators. We go, in order to configure emulators, we click here and we select. I have also showed you in the previous video how to configure it, and we create and starting the ATK. By the way, this is our Android Master Android Pro. You can learn Java, you can learn Android, also source codes, video tutorials, coding, and settings. Open emulator, multiple emulators. I will click run. I click it. and initializing Gradle, because Flutter will detect which AVD Android virtual device is using. We are using Android, so it will run and initialize Gradles and configure it to our project. Okay, this is our app. This is Flutter demo page, and we have run it successfully and installing Flutter successfully. This is our app. We click plus and you have pushed the button. Okay, back to the console. We go to put Flutter Doctor. Flutter has been installed successfully. Some Android license not to serve this license. Android SDK and Android Studio and connected device when available. Thank you guys. I hope you subscribe and like and comment below for thanking us and making new tutorials. Don't miss to like, subscribe and comment. The previous video that we have run the app and configure Android Studio. So I will close the Main.dart and this our project structure in the left panel. So you can minimize and you can see that the number one panel is called project. We click on project and we see the panel. In this panel, you can choose whatever you want here. But till now, we need to get or to put it as project. Now, these are containing two main principal folders, external libraries and Dart Flutter app. And external libraries, they are packages and Dart packages and external packages for and libraries for our app. Till now, we are not going to edit these files. Now, if we go to the Flutter app, this is the main folder that we will work on. We see that we have 4 or 5 main folders. The first one is IDE, which is IDEA, which is a configuration file that we will not edit till now. We have an Android, which is an Android file. If you have see the Android Studio and work in Android Studio, you have see that they are very similar. We have an app file, source, Gradle files, debug, main, and then Java, then the package, and here we go. These are classes and activities. So till now we have learned that Android folder contains these for the Android build system. Now we move to iOS. iOS folder is designed for the running the app on iOS, and these are the iOS configuration files that Flutter, Runner, and Xcodes. So the app or these folders contains allows the app to run on iOS and transform the Flutter into iOS and Android. So now let's move to lib. This is our folder that we are going to put and create Dart files inside it. We are going to most commonly use this folder. I will skip it for just a few seconds and I will go to the test. We are not going to edit these tests till now because we are not going to test this for principle for many reasons. Now we are going to see that these are for Git files, Git libraries, metadata packages, also the configuration files. We are not going to edit all of these. But there is two files that we should consider take in consideration. They are their importance to us. The first one is the lib folder. Lib folder contains all Dart, and we are working with Flutter with Dart language. So this is the first one, and the second one is pubspec.yaml. So this is the configuration file that it's very important for our app and contains all important notice and more important information for our app, and has following dependencies also. Dependencies, we will see later how dependencies are worse. They also able to import and use the external libraries in Flutter. So this is as a general view. Back to the Main.dart. Main.dart, this is the folder we are going to, or file, we are going to put inside it our code and run it. So the folder called lib is the folder that contains our code written in Dart language, and the pubspec.yam is the configuration file that and the most important file that contains the information for our app, and import the 3D parties and packages and libraries. So thank you guys. Don't miss to like and subscribe. We are making the complete Flutter developer course. So don't miss to like and subscribe, and comment below if you have any comments, any recommendations, and any opinions about our lectures. Please say it below. And we are going to produce many videos. So keep updated. Just hit the subscribe button. Thank you guys. As we see in the previous videos, the structure of the Flutter project. So we are going to select project, Flutter app, and then the lib folder. We are going to use this folder many times. So we see it in the main.dart file. I will select all and delete, because I'm going to lecture from scratch the Flutter course. So in this file, this is the code will be compiled and bundled with the Android or iOS code. So it will be bundled into one application, and which is shipped to your native application device. And the device in this app, then the main.dart file or one specific function in there will be compiling and bundling this project and executing the first functions that displayed to the user. This is called the main.dart file, and also called main. So this file is very important, because as I mentioned before, it will bundle and execute the code for iOS and Android. So now a function, just in case you are relatively new to programming, is essentially a block of code you need or you define, which does not execute immediately, but which need to be called to be executed. So think as a function that a thing or a code of block, whenever they are not executed, only if you call this function. So if if you create a button and you need the user to click it to execute something, so this something that will be executed is called function. So they are not executed automatically. They are executed whenever they are called. Okay, so Flutter is created by typing the name. So functions are created in Flutter by typing the name like main in the specific function which Flutter is looking for. So whenever the app starts, the Flutter system looks for the main method, which is called main. So in Flutter, it is called also the main. Now, this app or the app when it starts up has to be named main and looks for the main function. In general, you can name the functions how you want, but this one has to be named main since Flutter is looking for. So you type the name of the function and then parentheses, and here you could specify any arguments, parameters, and the functions you received. We are going later in this course to lecture more about the arguments and the variables. So the data that function can use inside of the body is the main function, however, does not receive any. So in this case, the main function will not receive any of it. Then we are going to create the curly braces, which the code will be executed inside them. So I will put an annotation or comments. In order to create comments, we just put slashes and write the code, write the statements. In this case, the Android or the Flutter system will not execute this code because it is commented. Put here your code. The main function that will run at app start up. So don't miss if you want source codes. Every lecture has a source code and the available for download in the description below. So don't miss to like and subscribe and get and comment below and get the source codes for every lecture from now and on. In order to if I created a method, if I want to call it, in this case the Flutter will call it automatically. But if I want to call a method, calling the method, I will calling the method. We just type the name of the method, and in this case we are calling the method. So however, for this special function, we won't call it. Flutter will do this for us automatically. Don't worry. Which is why we have to name it main and why it should be the main file. Now in here, you basically start your app, which means you start rendering the user interface. So the main will render the user interface and starting up the function or the app. Now, guys, we'll see later on how to deal with this function and how it will affect our user interface and how it will communicate with Android and iOS displays and UI. Thank you guys, and see you in next videos. Don't miss to like and subscribe, keeping us making new videos by commenting, like and subscribe. Thank you. So what is the widget? We have that main function and it will get called for us, but we don't know what to do in that main function. So now I'm just mentioned that the entire Flutter app is built up of widgets. So you maybe, maybe we should start using such a widget. Actually, we are going to create our own root widget. This is how typically it starts. And for that, we will use another Dart features classes with the class keyword. So in order to create the class, we create a keyword called class. So start by typing the class keyword. So, what are classes? Classes are the concept you might know from the other programming languages too. So, Dart is an object oriented programming language, which means everything is an object, and an object is simply just a data structure. Classes allow you to create blueprints for new objects so that you can say that what you should be inside such an object, which properties, so which data field should it have. So what can you do with it? This all goes into such a blueprints, and with Flutter you will work with a lot of classes which ship with the Flutter framework, but you also create your own ones, and if you create your own ones you do it with the class keyword and then you assign it a name to the class. Don't worry if you don't understand, we are going to see it actually in our app. So now class names typically start with a capital character and then you simply will type the name like. In this example, we are going to create a class called my application or my app. Now, till now, we have specified the class by typing class keyword and typing the class name that we recommend using or typically starts with a capital letter. But it's, for example, and it's the convention is to only use one word, but it is actually consists of multiple words. You capitalize each word in there. So the class name should be one word, and or you can capitalize the letters or something. Now we have two kinds: the features, the class, we are going to add the features to the class. There are two types. They will be then called have two kinds of things. You can add functions to classes, and they will then be called methods. And you can also add variables to function. Now I have not covered variables yet, but you probably know it from other programming language. Don't worry, variables are very simple, and they are simply little data structures. Like, for example, a name. If you have something like that, well, name would be a variable holding max as a value, and such variable to a class. Uh, there is one important feature we need to cover right now. We need to create a widget, and the widget will be an object, which is why we create a class. So to define how that object should look like. However, Flutter, of course, does not know if a class created by us is something it can use as a widget, because you will learn it needs certain features in a class to be able to use in the Flutter or in the widget. So now we are going to extend something. So what is extending? Extending the class means that we are inheriting the properties from that class, big class. So we type extend, which is the keyword, and the keywords are in orange color. So class my app extends now the stateless widget. So, and we put curly braces. So are missing an implementation. But first of all, let's see what are the extending features. We extend from, therefore, the stateless widget has to come from the Flutter framework, and that is where we implement another features import in this file. So in order to import, we are going to create, we have imported this package, and I need to import another package. So in order to import in Flutter, we do as in other programming language like Android, we call import the Flutter package Flutter, and we need to use the material.dart. So material.dart. So for that, we have implemented and imported the package relative to the stateless widget. We imported the code from such a package by typing package between the quotation marks and then a colon. So in this case, we have learned, on this lesson, we have learned how to create a class and how to extend it and specify it as a widget, and imported the corresponding package. So now we can extend the feature which is exposed from the package. And now this class is based on the stateless widget, and therefore we can almost use it as a widget to draw it onto screen. So now Flutter will recognize this class as a widget. Okay, so now we have learned how to create it, how to create a widget and use it, and by using the class, and how to import the package. Don't miss, guys, to like, subscribe, and comment below. Keep us making new widgets, making new videos, and by subscribing and liking. Thank you, guys, for your honest. So till now we see that there are some red squiggly lines under my app. Here there is a missing concrete implementation of stateless widget.build. So if you hover over my app, you should see this error message. Okay, so now will that's not super clear, because it is telling us something is missing in the class, something named a build. So you see here stateless widget.build. So we need to configure the our method and our class by adding the build method. So the build method it's adding by typing build parentheses and then curly braces, and here we go. We are adding the build method, and build method takes the context of the app as a widget. So if you pass an object to the Flutter to draw it on the screen, Flutter will always call a build method on that object. So which is why you need to add it to our own widgets. Now the build method actually takes argument data which will get passed into into it by Flutter because Flutter will be the one calling the build method. So here we are going to the build method that will takes the context as a variable. Now we are going to type here the context. It is taking the context and parentheses. So don't miss to add two curly braces. Build, two parentheses, context, and having the two curly braces. Now, if you look again, Flutter will indicate that the function has a return type of widget, but does not end with a return statement. So we need to add a return statement. So by typing return, we need to return a view for this method. But take into consideration and memorize this for all your Flutter apps that Flutter will have to return a method called actually method. It is a constructor, empty constructor that should be added in your app. So whenever you need to add the widget, you need to have to return by a widget. But till now we don't have anything to show, so we use return material app, and this is a constructor for the material app that we have added by importing its package. So in next videos, we are going to learn more and more about widgets and how to implement them. And see you in next videos. Don't miss to like and subscribe. Thank you, guys. Hello, guys, and welcome again to the complete Flutter developer course from Master Android channel. In this tutorial, we are going to create and add the scaffold. So we already covered a lot of ground, but we still don't see anything on the screen. So we need now, in this tutorial, in a couple of minutes, we are going to create something on the screen. So we need to tell the material app, which is a wrapper for our entire app, what to do. So what to draw on the screen. So for that, we will pass an arguments to the material app. So go to the return material app, and here we need to pass the widgets. So here we are going to pass the widgets. And another good thing in the Flutter we will see here after building the annotation and the comments that they will create. So first of all, we start by home. Home means that it is a widget included inside the material app. So this home will be an identifier for the widget here to be displayed by the material app. So I will create a scaffold. A scaffold means the white screen that it appears for the user when he see, or the container that contains all the views all inside it. So now we have created a scaffold widget, but it is completed by adding the two parentheses. So automatically the Flutter generates a code or a comment to indicates that the material app widget will be here at this line. It is ended. So also other widgets we are going to see that they will be added with comments below. Now let's go back to the home scaffold. So we are going to create the app bar and the home screen app bar. So till now we go to scaffold, click enter, and we have now created the scaffold comment automatically by Flutter, indicating that the scaffold line is ending here. So inside the scaffold, we are going to type the app bar, a bar, and I will go open parentheses. So it's a good design from Flutter that indicates the ending of each widget. So passing the app bar, I will pass for this widget a title. So I will create title text, and inside the text, as we have seen, but in Android, but here in Flutter is one single apostrophe or quotation. So inside the text, I will put here master Flutter or master Android channel. Okay, this is our widget, scaffold widget. So till now, at the recap, a full recap for our lesson, we are creating the home scaffold, home widget by a scaffold. A scaffold will contain the app bar, and app bar it will contain the title. So if you look here, there is the lines that correspond for the segments or the hierarchy of the material design and the widgets that be created by Flutter. So in order to run, before running the app, we need to add a very important code in the main method. So we have created a class here that contains our code, but in order to display it, we are going to add a run app method that will pass our class that we will need to display. So I need to display this class. If I needed to display the class here, my app, I should pass it to the as a constructor method for or inside the run app, and I will put don't miss the semicolon, and I will click run and see what the results. So now I will check the emulator and waiting the emulator to go. And by the way, we are creating a very important, a very amazing update for our app available on Play Store called Master Android, and we see that we are going to put all source codes for our videos and YouTube channels. We click on Basic, and we see the view bottom navigation bar in the previous video on YouTube, and you will get the source code, Java code, and XML here. So back to our video. So don't miss to get your free copy from Master Android Pro and Master Android. And for your notice and notification that we have created a master Flutter app available on the Play Store, so you can go and check it and download it. Waiting for our emulator now. So amazing. This is our app. So if you see the app, this is our app bar. This is our home scaffold, and this is our app bar, and this is a text inside it called a master Android channel. So thank you guys. I hope you subscribe and like for the daily uploads for the Flutter and Android courses and Android tutorials. Don't miss to like and subscribe, and like below, comment below what tutorials you need and what tutorials you need us to make, and the ideas you need to create. Thank you guys. See you in next videos. Subscribe now. Subscribe. So, first of all, we have created our very first basic app, and we will do this by calling run app in the important main. So, we have run this code by typing the run application method. So, function in the Main.dart. So it will be called by Flutter when and then return our widget tree. So the build method, is the method that Flutter will search for whenever we are making our apps. So the first method the user will or the Flutter system will look for is a build method. But build, we are returning it as a material app. So because of this is having a widget, a return type called widget, we can specify the widget type, or we can specify a widget type for the build method. So here we see that there is no error because the build method is returning a widget. So and for your information, that Dart is a type language. So what is a type language? Type languages used to return or specify. They are created to specify the type or returning type of these widget or classes or methods that they are used. So because build is returning a widget, we can specify the type of the build method as a widget, and also we can remove it because it will indicate the type directly. So Dart knows that the build method will eventually return a widget. However, we can really clear about by adding the widget word in front of build. Now, a widget is a class, however, not instantiated, but instead just a class name, which then acts as a type in Dart, which means that this, to be precise, is a class defined by Flutter package and material package. And it means that the widget is now what we expect to return and build. And if for some reasons we don't return this here at the material app, let's say we comment this and instead return a string, I will comment this and return a string. It will give us an error because so we could get a warning, and if I save this, it would not even recompile because it recognizes that our code is incorrect. So By adding these types allow us to write cleaner code. Now let's go back and see this is our app. Now we can another very important thing or an amazing thing for Flutter, we can actually we can like write the code in a different way. So what I mean by a different code, if you have function which only contains one statement like this one does, like run app, you can absolutely write it like this. Nothing wrong with it. Use this style if you like it. So what is this style I'm talking about? I'm talking about making the run application, typing the main, removing the parentheses and making this type run app and my application and here. So let's run and see how this will work. So I will instantiate and run my app and on emulator, waiting for the device. So till now, we didn't add anything special for this our app. Just diving deeper into the syntax. So we have learned in this lesson that we can add a return type for the the build method, and we have learned how to retype or use another syntax to write the code for displaying the run application method. So here we go. This is our app. We have not made anything special for it. Now we will create and add more and more features and learn more about Flutter, Android, and iOS. Thank you guys. I hope you subscribe and get the daily lessons. I will upload the lessons every day. So keep subscribing and keep watching. Like, comment below if you have any questions, or if you just did to say thanks for me, just comment below. Thank you guys. See you next video. First of all, in order to create the cards, we are going to add a body part or body widget inside our build method. So we learned before how the home method or the home part is created and contains a scaffold. Now here is we can add the body part. So in order to add it, we are going to create a body. So this is a home. It will contain the app bar and the body. So first of all, we are going to create a card widget. So the card widgets is imported directly and automatically by importing and the material design package in Flutter. So we can now use it without any errors. So in order to create a card, we put card and tell the Flutter what is this card and what it will contains. So card, it will contains the child with a column. We will create a child called column. and we pass the children of them as widgets. So in this way, we have created a card inside our body. So as a recap, a home body or a home part will contains the app bar. Now the body will contains the card view. Now, in order to add the cards, we are going to create images inside these. So we saw that the course has a column. So what is a column? As a column, a vertical line or vertical widgets and a layer that contains or arrange the widgets or the children and packed in an array of widgets in horizontal view or vertical view. So images dot we add an assets for this. So how to add the assets or how to insert the or access the assets folder. We will create the assets folder. So I'm going to copy and paste an image from I've prepared before. So this is my PNG file. It is a PNG file. So first of all, I've created this, copy it, and back to our Android Studio. And we go to the project, and here we are going to create a folder called assets. So new directory and assets. So this is the assets, and we paste our image inside it. This is our image. So in order to access, we first of all, we have created a new folder. So we need to inform Flutter that we have made the change or we have added something. So back to our pubspec.yam. This is as we see in the previous videos that this is the most important or very important file. So we go inside it and we scroll down for this. We see that in order to add the assets, you should add an asset section like this. So we first of all remove this line, and we remove this, and we keep the tag or the dash line dash. We keep the dash inside it, and we put assets and the name of our file. I've renamed it as Cordy, and the extension is very important. So this is our pub spec yum folder. Now back to our cards view. We are going to we remove the images and asset, and we call, and we put here assets dot or dash slash, and we call cardi.png. In this way, we have called the image. Now, in order to create the text, we put text, and inside it we use simple quotation, and we call subscribe to get latest Flutter tutorials. Okay, very good, guys. Now we have created, as a recap, we have created a body. So body is inside the home. That a home contains the app bar and the body. So the body is inside. Inside it, we have a chord and a column that arrange the image and the text in a vertical way. So let's run and see how our app will works. And don't miss, guys, to like and subscribe below. And below is inside our description, or the video description, there is a free coupons for the first users. They click them. So let's run. And we have created a Udemy course about Android. You are welcome to get it free. So click the link below, the coupon below, and you will be inserted for the first 10 users freely. So support us by subscribing, liking, and comment. And here we go. This is our app. So till now we are creating perfect app in Flutter. So now let's just a recap and a summary for our app. So you see in the image is this, and the text is this, and the body is contained inside a scaffold widget that the home part is designed. So this is the scaffold widget containing the app bar and the body. And inside the body there is a column, and inside the column there is a widget array that contain, they are arranged and inside a column view. So thank you, guys. I hope you subscribe, like, and comment below. Don't miss to click the coupons, and don't miss to subscribe. Thank you, guys. See you in next videos. So let's begin designing and making the container widget and the button. So what is container? It is used to contain a child in a child widget within your parent widget, which it does by applying some styling properties on it. So what are these styling properties and how they will work? So we use the containers for applying a variety of features, like alignment of the child within the container, adjusting constraints to the size of the child, and decoration of or transformation, rotation, alignment, or background colors. So if you see in this figure that the container is a widget that contains all its child. So we can put whenever we want to this widget. So, and the container code, in order to make it, we use the child and we use the keyword called container. And we can see the decoration and other properties attribution for this container. So we start by adding a child and the container for our container, and we take the attribution and we put or specify them. So let's go back to Android Studio and see how they will work. But before, just for notice that these lessons are available for download and see, and watching them on Master Flutter application available on Play Store free, completely free. So these lessons are very important and very good, well designed manner. So will help you in making Flutter apps. So back to Android Studio, we we are going first of all to make or allow the body of our application to have many cards. So in order to allow this ability and add some buttons and make the cards available for adding also more and more cards, I will create a column, and let's make all of our body specified by making columns or making widget inside this column. So I will create the column, and we see before the column how to create columns. So in Flutter, we go here and we put our children. Let's see, children, and we don't specify the widgets because it may contains the containers and the application, the cards, and contains all of this. So we copy or cut these, remove them, we specify the card is below them, and the column widget column card, and widget column card, and here we specify, we put before the card, after the card, we put this angle bracket and the line. So the card is now included inside our column activity or column widget. Now we also need to see the column scaffold and the column, and also add an angle bracket after this. I need to put here, remove this, I remove this, and this is a column, and we put like this. Okay. So what I have made, I just put the card, I just create a column and put the card view inside this column. So what will change? Nothing at all. Let's run and see. Nothing at all. This is our app. Why I made this step? Because we are going to add more and more items. And back to our lecture, that this container will have the child or children of our widgets as children. So they will contain our widgets in a manner. So I've created a column, and these are the children. What are the children? First of all, this card view. Now let's create a simple raised button. So here we have the card as a child, And also we need to create a raised button as a child for this column. Now raised button, and we specify here um, the attributions on press. Till now we don't need to make any actions when the user click it, and the child, and we put its text as uh, add cards. So this button, and we put here comment. So what I have made in this tutorial, first of all, we see the app. First of all, the home has a scaffold, big scaffold. Now the body has the column, and this column has children. What are these children? They are two. They are the raised button and the card inside this column. Now let's hit run and see how they work. Okay, so we have added a raised button inside this container. So the container will contains the widgets that we are going to specify in this tutorial. Now, what we are going to make with this button, we are going to create, we are going to allow it to add add more and more card views or cards inside our app, like adding a product, adding items, adding cards, whatever you want. Now, let's see the next tutorials about it. But first of all, let's create our container and see how containers works. Now, I will put the raised button inside a container. So in order to make a container, as we see in the documents, we put a child or children container, and we put our widget, or we put our raised button as a child inside this container by cutting it, and we specify the margin, edge, insets dot all, and here we will learn about padding, about margins, that put 10. These are double values, so we specify them in decimal form, and we need to make a child that we have made before as a raised button. So what I've made, I've now just put the raised button inside my container. So let's hit run and see. And here we go. We didn't do anything. Do anything special. Just adding the button and in a container. So thank you guys. I hope you subscribe and like, and put below your comments, your suggestions, your opinions, and how Flutter, you see Flutter, how you see our tutorials, and any comments and any new tutorials I will let. So let's begin. Now, the creating widgets and in Flutter Flutter's offers a very important option that will allow the user to create custom widgets and use them anytime with less time and code. So, in order to create the widgets. It is possible that you find the right ready-to-use widget that you want, or that you want to combine more widgets in order to create a reusable group. So what are these means? We saw in the previous videos how to create a stateless widget that contains a build method that returns a widget and have a material app and with home and a body structures. So this widget contains these stateless that they don't have data, they don't do actions, so we can use stateless widget. So there are two types of widgets in Flutter that you can use to create your custom widgets: stateless widgets and stateful widgets. So let's dive into a bit more detail. Now, the stateless widget remains in the same even if the user interacts with them. So remain the same even if the user interacts with them. We see in the cards app we have created. Now, by the way, these lessons are available to download and see, and you can take the full course freely without any cent paid. Available on Master Flutter app, available on Play Store. So go to Play Store and download Master Flutter application and get these lessons. Now back to our stateless widgets. This kind of widgets has no state, so they cannot change according to the internal state. They can only react to higher widget changes. The build function of the stateless widget is called only once, and no amount of changes in any variables, any values, or events can call it again. So it's very important to take into consideration this introduction or this like definition. Now, stateful widgets are dynamic components that have an internal state to manage. A stateful widget can react to state and change accordingly. So the state is stored in a state object. So what is state? State is actually a data. So the state will be a class extending the state, like T extending the stateful widget. So abstract class. This is definition as abstract class, or attribution as abstract class. To trigger the framework to rebuild the widget and apply the changes, you have to call the set state function. So we see, and we saw that in stateless widgets that they configure a build. So they build the UI, the user interface, and they are not dynamic. They are not like interacting for a user, and they are don't have or don't trigger the framework to react and give states or data. Now, a stateful widget creates a new state object for each build context. So the constructor or the stateful widget use a create state constructor and set state function. Now, as a difference diagram for of these widgets, stateless widgets, input data, widget, and renders UI. They're re-rendered when input data changes. Now, stateful input data, widget, internal state, and renders UI re-rendered when input data or state changes. So in this lesson, we are going to learn how to change them and how to create a stateful widget. So back to our Android Studio, we have created here the card layouts. Now let's create a stateful widget. we are going to create a stateful widget by typing class, or sorry, we are going we will create, okay, the class from the beginning. My app extends, and now despite using stateless widget, we are going to create stateful widget. So this is how we create a stateful widget, and we create angle brackets, and we are going to override method called onState, or a state method. So I type state, and we pass the data by angle bracket, as we see in the lesson or the lecture in the previous couple of minutes, and we create state. So this is how we create, and we return, and we return the class. Return here your class. So we will return our class. Now let's put here an override object. Override. Okay. Now let's change. We are going to change this class to another my app state. We have created now the class called states, and extend state. So you see the difference, and the importance of app, or importance of stateful widgets. So we create first of all class extending stateful widget, and we override the state method. Now we will return now my state widget class, and we write them in this way. Now we are now going to we have created now a class extending the state. Now we have returned this state in the state method, and on create state a method of stateful widget. So this is how stateful widgets works in Flutter. Thank you guys. I hope you benefit from our lessons, and I hope you say thanks in the comments, and subscribe below, and subscribe to our channel to get the latest tutorials, Android tutorials, Flutter tutorials, and coding tutorials. Thank you guys. So let's begin. Now, we have seen in the previous videos that we have created a stateful widget. But the question is how to now we manage and change data inside of it. We will do in a very simple way. So we see at the my app state underscore class, we have added these build methods. So before of that, we are going to create a list of text. Since Dart is strongly typed language, so we are going to specify the type in front of the list. We are going to create a list of like cards. I will card. I will create. I will name it as a card. So now, before we are going, we are I missed this specifying between the angle brackets, the angle brackets, string, the type of string. Now I will put the semicolon. So we are going to create the list that contains the cards needed to be displayed when the user is going to click the button. So cards, I will put cards, cards collector. Okay. Now it's time to make now to use the list and simply display them into the stateful widget, since they allow us to manage and use the UI when the app is running. Now inside the body, we are going to create put the cards into a list. So we are going to create cards, cardi, sorry, cardi, cardi list, and I will pass between the angle brackets or between or dot, I map, and I will put this line, another line, and what I'm doing is making the cards inside a list that are displayed into the user when he clicked, or we can add it when the user click the button, so the card will be displayed. So what I'm doing, I'm creating a a simple card list that contains or take the elements as cards. And now the text, I will remove it and see element, and I will put them or cast the variable or argument as element, and here I will say that they should be a column and widget, column widget. So here we go, the child going card and taking it down and specifying it as a card. So what I'm doing, I'm creating an element, instance element that contains the cards, and these cards are put it inside. We are going to put it inside a list that this list is going to be added or be displayed to the user in form of cards. So card or a column, I will now manage them to be inside a column. So I will create a column now, and put these inside of it, and here I will remove them and put them here. So now this column contains a list, so this contains a children. So what are the children of the column? Children will be contained as a list. So I'm making children as a list. Children map cards or cardi, or my app or my list contains a map with casting and elements inside it and passing the card outside it. Now the child has or this has these variables or these attributes. Now the child will contain also column, and this column contains also children of type widget. So and the type widget will contain an image and a text. So we are going we still have to put just one step and we will be done. So at the end of the card and the column, this is a card, and we put to list, going to create the toList method. So I will pause the video and just make sure that everything is working fine. I will create this and put it here. Now I've like rearranged and reordered these brackets and angle brackets because to save your time and save my time. So these angle brackets, I've just see them how they belong, and I've added a toList method here at the end of the cards. So what at the end of the cards or in this method. So what we have done is making we are going to allow the user to click the button, and when the user click it, it will add another card inside our card list. So what we have created in this tutorial, I've created a list of cards called cardi. Now I've passed the column. I've created a column below the container inside the body that contains the cards. So I've created a cardi list, or the children cardi list called dot map, and I've created and passed the cards as their variables. Now or attributes. Now I've added also at the end toList button or sorry a toList method in order to later on allow the user to click the button and add new cards inside our app. Thank you guys. Till now we are doing fine. We will see in the next videos how to create also or continue our development for our app that will add cards will add the cards inside our app when the user click the interface or click the button. So this button, the user will able to add cards next videos. Thank you. I hope you subscribe and like. Keep us going. We are making new tutorials. Just your subscribe, just your comments, and just your likes will keep us making videos. No need to money, just hello guys, and welcome to the complete Flutter developer course. In this tutorial, we are going to create this app that allows the user to click the buttons to add cards. So, this is done? It is done by widgets and stateful widgets. We will continue the stateful widgets tutorial, but first we are helping you to learn Flutter and Android. So help us 50,000 subscribe now and to learn Android and Flutter. Help us to help you. Thank you guys. In this tutorial, we are going to add the functionality for this button. But before, we have created in the previous videos the containers and the stateful widgets that contains all of these widgets. So let's begin creating the functionality and adding and handling the click events for this button. So back to the Android Studio, we are going to create. We have created before a raised button, and we have specified an onPressed method, and we say that this method will not be on action till now. Now we are going to add an action for this button. As we see in the previous video about stateful widgets, we have learned about it that stateful widgets pass or have a set state function that controls all of its builds and all of its function. So we saw before also in the stateless widgets that a build method controls stateless. Now set the state method controls the stateful widget. So on this onPressed method, we are going to create or handling the click events of bot. And what I'm going to create on this onPressed method is adding a new card when the button is clicked. Okay, in order to do so, that we are going to create set state method. This is a very important method for the for the stateful widgets. So, Cardi, it is our list, and I will put add, and I will put it an a title or a string value for this. I will name it master Flutter application. Okay. Now, till now we have created this or added functionality for our app. Now for our button. Now let's run and see how it will works. Now we have run it. I will add the cards, and here we go. We have created another card with master Flutter app title. Let's click another one. We see that there is a button overflowed by 128 pixels. So this is for hot reload, and this is not a recycler because it is not recycling and not a recycler view that controls the cards and allow the user to scroll. So Flutter will display error of margin here. So till now we have doing fine for our app. So let's subscribe to our channel to get the latest tutorials and latest Flutter tutorials in this course. Keep going, guys. We are daily uploading courses and we are daily uploading videos. Don't miss to like, subscribe, and comment below. I need your opinion. I need your motivation, your thanks, and your subscribe. Thank you, guys. See you next. So we go to libs folder and we create a new Dart file. So one thing you typically do in the Flutter apps is you don't put all your code in one root widget. So I will create a Dart file called cards. And this cards, I will import the package of material design. So material design that we have imported before in the main.dart file does not mean that it is imported in all your project files. So we need, if you need the package of material design inside the cards, you need to import it. Now I will create a class and we will split the code up. We have got, of course, a stateful widget which we need to manage our cards. So now we can use a stateless widget because we need just a code or to handle the column that we are going to create. So let's create first of all a list and pass the data of this card list and put them into our app. So the list of cards will be a final list string and cardi. I will rename it as cardi. Now now I'm going to create a cards class that will take a list as a parameter. Now the file name is up to you, but the convention is to write it all as lowercase. So if you have multiple words, spread them with underscore. Now you need to add that import, as I said before, to every new file because every file works standalone. Now let's go back to the override method of the stateless widget, and we are going to create this class. I will return to my code to get to cut the code. So the column with the products of the cards will be a return widget, widget for the build method of my widget. So I've created now, as we see, a widget, stateless widget that have a build method. This build method will pass or return a column. So we have created this file, cards file, in order to have a column widget returned in the widget or the build method. Now back to the main, I will cut the code of the column. And I will paste it as return widget. Now this is our code. It will work very fine. Now the constructor also has some other features through. though, and we need one feature only. It should be able to accept a list of products and a list of cards that you can name this argument whatever you want, but I will name it Cardi. Hello guys. Now I will create a new file called the cards manager. So this card manager will plan to well manage my cards in a standalone file or a Dart file. So this class or this Dart file will work separately and clean my code and make it efficient. Now I will create a class and I imported the package of material Flutter. I will create a class called a cards manager that extends the stateful widget. Now, here we are going to, I will comment for every step. If you even don't understand my voice or even you don't understand my accent or language, I will put every step in a comment. So here we need to change the state of widgets. The stateful widgets need to create a state method which I add with the help of my Android Studio, and therefore we need to add a second class than the cards class, which extends the state, which is a generic type linking to the cards manager. So as a first step, I will manage the list of the cards by creating first of all the state. Because it's stateful widget, I will create the state method. Now, which is a generic type. This has the build method, again adding with the help of my Android Studio. Now the class manager, I will extend cards manager. I will extend it. So I will create the cards manager state, extending the state of cards manager. Now in this class, I will put the widgets or the container that we have created in the main activity. So on the main.dart file. So we need to add the widgets and the build method. Remember, we're just making the code, our code, cleaner and improvement. We are adding improvements for the way of thinking, the way of connecting ideas and things in Flutter in more convenient and more simple way. So we are just dividing the files, and for every file we are making and assigning its function. Now I will go to the container that I've created, the raised button and the child of the container. This is the container. I will select it. Okay, this is the end of the container. I will cut it, and I will go to back to the build method, and I will return this widget. So what I'm making is just for splitting the code and make it is easier to manage and to remember, and easy to configure and pass data between files. So in next videos we are going to learn how to pass data between different types of files and different types of widgets. Now we are creating the list, and here we go, we have solved the error of guarding. Now, in order to call the class called the cards manager state, we need to return it in the state of the stateful widget. So, as we have learned before, in order to call the class, we need to return it, and we put the parentheses of the name after the name of the class. So here we go. Now, just let me see. Okay, the new container. And now just making the container, because we are going to add new containers that have the cards. We are going to put all of these in a column widget. So I will delete these angle brackets and make the container that we have cut it before, because it was having and holding just one card. Now we are going to allow the user to add more and more cards, and all cards will be returning and arranged in the column we have created now. We added this column. This is just for reviewing why we are adding the column. So as I told you, we are adding this column widget to allow us to add new widgets and new cards. Now, I'm solving this. Okay. Now, here we are going to add another widget called cards. So why we are calling this? Because we are adding the lists of the cards that we have created in a list, and this list will be displayed as cards. Now I'm going to import first of all the package and the chords.dart files. So import dot chords chords.dart. So in this way, I am importing the file inside another file in this way. So the dot, then the slash, the name of the file means and or gives an interpretation and importing of the package and the file, all of it. Now, because we have imported, we can use its method or its constructor, and I'm passing the cards constructor and putting inside it the value. Now, the value of my list is called Cardi. Now, here we go, and semicolon. Okay, specifying the name for named arguments. Try to removing the extra positional arguments. So if we go to the chords, and here we go, we are passing the list because it is a constructor, and we are passing Cardi list as an argument for it. Now, as we've done before, as are we done here and making here, we will do the same and make another or split our code again. So now the stateful widget, I can make it a stateless widget because no matter and no need to use stateless widgets and stateful widgets. And I recommend using the stateless widgets in your applications. Now, no need to use the widget, and we are going just to need to put the build method. Now, let's import the cards.main.dart cards manager.dart file. As I told you, point and slash and the name of the Dart file. In this way, you can import the file and use its all its components. Now we are designing and splitting the code. As we seen before, as we split the container and remove the container from the body, we are going to now also split the code and put it in an arranged and very well designed pattern and designed files. Now, in order to call the manager, we just put in the body cards manager and we are calling the constructor that will assign and start building the UI for us. So the body card in the body we are calling the constructor for the cards manager that in turn will start building our widgets and our UI in the file whenever the app is built and instantiated. Now let's save the files, save all, and let's run it and see. I am just need to run my emulator, and my emulator is online, and let's hit start. So what we have made in this tutorial is just splitting the code and learn how to manage data between the activity, the files, and how to pass data between two files, and how to manage and make a cards manager file. So now let's see our app. And here we go. It is the same and working fine. Now adding the cards, also done. Please hit subscribe and like to get the next tutorials and many tutorials, daily uploads. Just hit like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you. Now this is our list. I will delete the code or the text inside it. Now I will comment for every step what we are doing, and the source code will be available soon in the description. Now getting data from outside for the course manager. So we need to pass the data whenever the app is launched. The code is split into main and cards manager and cards. Now we will pass the data from our main to the manager that display the code in a perfect way and manage the cards in a correct way. and a high performed code. So again, I just remember you that we are cleaning our code and making the code runs faster and in efficient way. Now we are passing the constructor for this code manager, and here we need to put some data. Now we are creating. I will type creating the constructor for the cards manager class and stateful widget that will allow the us to pass data in a correct way and receive the arguments in a good and correct way. So in this, I will put cards manager. This is our constructor, and I will pass the arguments here. So if you need to know about arguments, you can download Master Flutter and Master Android apps from Play Store and see how arguments are working. Now put here the string you need to pass. So we are creating this constructor in order to pass the data that we need and the string that we need to display in the cards. Now I will create a string called basic cards or basic card. Now I will remove this text and I will pass the string. In order to pass the string, I will call this and the basic card. This is one of the characteristics in Flutter you should take into consideration, that we need to pass data. We say this and dot the string or the data that we need, or the variable we need. Now I will cast it to final. Now going back to our cards manager state, and this is our code. This is our code, and we are returning the cards manager state. I am passing the string from the constructor to the cards manager state, and this is too many positional arguments this is saying to us. So in order to solve this, we are going to make some modifications. Now we are creating initial state in a state method. As we see before, if you need to learn more about in state, you need to see the Flutter course for in our channel and see and watch the previous videos. Now I take the list and I will add widget.basic card on it. And here we go. This is this implementation or implement initial state will adding data to the list. So what we are doing, we have created a list, and this list will be passing data from the main to this class. This is manager through the constructor. So here is our main. This is our main. I will pass the data from here. Guys, don't miss to like, subscribe, and comment below your opinion, your any tutorial ideas that you need us to make. So just keep subscribing and keep watching. So what I have made, I created now I'm passing from the main activity a text called master Flutter app, and I will see how I've passed this text to the stateful widget by creating the constructor and passing the constructor arguments to the list and displaying the cards. So I hope you don't miss to subscribe and like, and please guys keep us making new tutorials. We are daily uploading Flutter and Android and Windows tricks and tips. So don't miss to like and subscribe below to get latest tutorials. So and we have passed the text correctly into our constructor, this cards manager, then passing it to the initial state or state, and after that we have created the initial state method and we have added the text correctly. Thank you guys. I hope you subscribe, like. So let's begin. Here we have passed the build and the context. Now I just need to put here the widget and here build context and assign it as in a build context. Now returning the material design. Here we have in the material design, material app, sorry, we have the home and the body. Over the home, I will put the attributes that will connect us or connect or specify the theme of our app in general. Now I put theme data, and I will pass here the theme data. So now I've created a theme for our material app or our app. So I put here the colors, the brightness, and the primary swatch, and whenever you want. So I will select primary swatch, colors, and I will select cyan, accent. Okay. Now let's run our app and see what we have done. I will select my virtual device and Android emulator. Don't miss guys to subscribe, like, and comment below to make new to give us motivation and make new tutorials. We are uploading every day new contents about Flutter and Android. So back to our app, I will hit run. This is our app, the old one, just awaiting Android Studio. Now, I hope you subscribe and like below. Keep us making new videos and come back every day and hit the bell notification to get the notifications every upload we have and every day. So we are uploading Flutter lessons and Flutter apps and Android tutorials every day. And here we go. There is our material design app bar, or the theme in general is changed. So this is our app and taking a primary swatch as cyan. Now let's add brightness attribute brightness.light. So and see what's happening. And here we need to put. Now let's run. Waiting for hot reload. Okay. And the brightness is light. Now I will put another You can specify the other attributes whatever you want. I will put the primary app or primary color. I will put colors dot purple. You can play whatever you want with the material design. So it's amazing, and I hope you subscribe, like, and comment below. Thank you guys, and see you next videos. Keep coding, keep watching Master Android. Hello guys, and welcome to the complete Flutter developer course from Master Android channel. In this tutorial we will learn about Flutter life cycle. So how the app will actually work and what the codes are executed first. If you are new to our channel, please hit subscribe button. And if you are a subscriber, please hit the like button to keep us making new videos. So, if we see here, we are having the stateful widget, a constructor, and a widget.createState is called. This is in a stateful widget. So remember in the previous videos that we have created a stateful widget and passing the constructor, and the widget on dot create state is called first. Now in the state object, we have seen that there is a state object that we have created in our app. The first of all, the constructor is mounted, and then in state we see this method is called. So did change dependencies and then back to the dirty state. Then there is a build method. The build method. So the build method is all responsible for building the UI and clean the state. So if the clean state is called and reuse it, or it needs to set state again, it will go to dirt state and then to build, and even did update widget will be called again. Now keep in mind that we need to memorize that the constructor is called the widget dot create state, and the constructor then is initialized and called in the state object, then into state, and then build. And if it stopped, we call dispose. Now back to the Android Studio. We are going to see these steps in actual way. So before we start, please subscribe to get the latest Flutter tutorials. We are uploading daily videos and daily parts about the Flutter development course. So, and don't miss to download and install Flutter, a master Flutter application from the Play Store. So I need you to help us to reach 50,000 subscribers. Now, back to our app. Here we go in the Flutter app, the cards.dart. I will show you that this constructor will pass or will be called here first. So in order to print the log or see in the terminal on the lookup, we need to put print, and we pass the object here as this. I will put the constructor the constructor is called. I will remove this and I will copy the same and I will put here build method is called. Okay, so let's hit run and see what's happening and what this means. I will go to my virtual devices and see and launch my emulator. Okay, it is launched and I will click start. Now in this time and these moments, please subscribe and like. Hit like button. You are not paying anything. Just hit the like button and subscribe to get latest tutorials. Thank you guys. Thank you for all honest people who are following and liking. So let's go back. Waiting for the emulator. And if you see when our app is called and it's running, here the methods are called. The constructor first and the build method is called. So, as I told you in the diagram and the schema, that the first of all, in the stateless widget, the constructor is called and then the build method is called. Now, let's move to stateful widgets. So this is the stateful widgets. I will call here the logcat for this, and I will paste, copy, and paste. I will put manager constructor is called. So, as I told you, the first one, the constructor is called, the widget and the create state is called. These are in stateful widgets. We are going to see them. Now, we have seen in the stateless widgets the constructor and then the build method. So now this will happen, the constructor and then the create state. I will copy it and I will paste it here. Now, create state is called. Then I will copy also an initiate state, or we will see in the state object in next couple of minutes. Now let's run. See the terminal. Sorry. Okay, oops, what is coming on? I will restart. And here we go. Debug console, we need the debug console. So I already installed the app, and here we see that the manager constructor is called first, then the create state is called, the manager constructor, then the create state is called, and the constructor is called, and the build method is called in the stateless widget. Now let's move to this part of the state with a state object. I will copy this print and go to initiate state method and print this. I will call it int state is called, and build method I will call it here build method. Now let's hit run and see. I will try to remove it because it may cause some errors, and I will hit run again. I will show you exactly how the Flutter will start making our app and the steps they are making. Please, I remember you to subscribe and like. So don't miss to like. Just hit the small button like, and just hit the subscribe button. You will never lose anything. You will get everything, every tutorial. So whenever the app is called, first of all, the manager constructor is called. Then the create state is called. As I told you, the constructor and the widget state is called. Then the initiate state is called, and the build method is called. Now, if you see the constructor, create state, constructor, initiate state, and build. So constructor, initiate state, then build method is called. And these are our commands and our lessons. Thank you guys. I hope you subscribe and like. Don't miss to hit the like button and comment below if you like the way of our teaching, and if you have any questions or any recommendations about making new tutorials about them, and if you have any ideas you want us to make it. Thank you guys. See you next videos.